Hello, what nuts, Humpty Dump Nuts, and everybody else in the whole wide world. It is 11:59 a.m. on Wednesday, May 29th, United States, and this is What Chaos, presented by Prize Picks Daily Fantasy Sports. Made easy. Use promo code What Chaos for your first deposit match up to $100. My name is David Bean. We welcome back Pete Blackburn, and over there sits a man in a Coyotes hat and long pants. We never know whether he's going shorts or long. It's the mystery about him. Sean, that boy, DePaz.
What kind of pocket tee you got going there today?
How are your
Pockets?
You got a pocket tee.
Pocket tee? No, I don't.
Oh.
Just a.
Well,
It's a.
that's like a stolen valor pocket tee.
It's just got. You're not allowed to have things on a tee. You literally are wearing the exact same kind of t-shirt right now.
Shut up. He's
It's a good
asking
point.
questions.
It's a good point.
Now,
What are we doing here?
now that we're on the subject, what kind of pockets do you have going today?
Well, I'm actually wearing yoga pants. These are the most comfortable pants I own, men's yoga pants. And they have like a little interior mesh pocket, which is nice.
Does it have a little zip?
Nope, but it's got a little.
Are
a
you
little
gatekeeping
flap.
the brand?
It's Nike.
I like what
Okay.
it has, and not to get all heteronormative on everyone's asses, but it's got like the little, what you would call just like a lady zipper. Is it the
Little lady zipper
let
right
me see
here.
it. No, but let me see the,
Like
the
zipper
actual.
inside of the
Let me see
pocket?
the actual tool that's being used to zip it. Oh no, that's a man zipper. That's no good. Do you know what I'm talking about? It looks like almost like a. It looks like maybe like an earwig.
No idea.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, like the little tiny.
It doesn't
yeah,
have any
yeah,
holes
yeah,
in it
yeah,
or
yeah.
anything.
Got you.
It's
I know what you're talking about.
I love that kind of zipper.
Yeah, I love these because it has the zipper, but also the regular pocket. So you got multi options, and this has the back ass pocket, which a
Ooh.
lot of yoga pants do not have.
I have a pair of racist brand name that I'm not going to mention. Actually, but I got it for free. I didn't give him any money. I got him for free.
I hope listeners know this about a particular yoga company and why they are called what they are called. It is extremely racist, and the person that founded that company sounds like a horrible person.
Horrible person, but
Makes some good ass
nicest
clothes.
pants I own.
You know what's
Yeah.
wild though? Chris Rock has a bit about racism and Lululemon.
Oh,
And-
he did it.
And
Oh, you said
I was
the
going
word.
there. And I was like, okay, he's going to talk about how the guy came up with the name, which is horrible. But instead, what he was discussing brands being, and I don't like this term as a pejorative, but it became one, like brands being woke and doing all these things. And he said he walked by a Lululemon and it said, there was a sign outside that said, like, we do not stand for racism. And he said, like, they sell $100 non-racist yoga pants. And then he goes on to say, like, I think we would all agree we would prefer $80 racist yoga pants. And the audience is just like, yeah.
Jesus.
But I was like, you're doing a joke about racism and Lululemon,
and not going.
and that's the joke
that's
that
being
you made?
omitted. Yeah. Should we cancel Connor Bedard?
No.
Oh, okay. I mean, he supports the company.
Might need to.
Although the founder.
No, he's bleeding some bad people dry. He's taking their money.
That's
Or
true. That is
Making them
true.
money. Lululemon didn't have much of a
I think
that
Brock
guy
Faber
market
also,
share in hockey.
that guy who also founded Lululemon is no longer at the company.
you know who
Oh,
I got a
okay,
shout
then.
out? Not even a partner of ours, but maybe could be one day.
New Balance?
New Balance.
New Balance rocks.
Cameron Brink, huge get for them.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Oh,
came
yeah.
I saw someone talking about how she's probably like their most important athlete right now.
I would definitely agree.
Well,
They
I mean,
went-
their other most important athlete he never plays. He's always hurt.
Jack
So-
Harlow,
Yeah, Jack Harlow.
Kawhi.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went from after the 2016 election, New Balance put out a statement being like, just want to say, nice. And we were like, dude, like what the like.
Isn't Shohei a New Balance guy?
Yeah, and
that's why there's a little feeling that he might end up here.
Yeah, true. Which would be the funniest way for the Red Sox to get the best baseball player of all time. Is just because New Balance is in the city.
Ever since they, people thought that.
Yeah, I know.
Ever since New Balance put out that statement celebrating the election of Trump, they probably needed to do damage control, but like Jack Harlow, good get for them. Kawhi, good get for them. Cameron Brink, great get for them because I have never. Cameron Brink is bringing, and you can guess as to why, but Cameron Brink is bringing the player entrances to a new level where, like, every day I'm seeing people retweet and share the like Cameron Brink showed up to the game today. Check out. You're never gonna believe it. And I'm like, let me guess. She looks great. Like, she looks fucking great.
I'm like obsessed with Cameron Brink, and it's wild. She's 9 feet tall. She's blonde. Not typically the type of woman that I would go for. But Ellen said she's gonna buy me a Cameron Brink jersey for my birthday.
Cameron Brink jersey would be nice.
Yes.
I mean, I still want a Caitlin Clark jersey.
I like Cameron Brink.
I like Angel Reese. I'll be different.
There you go.
Is a dog, low key. Like, she's actually playing well. Also, I haven't seen videos. They are face guarding Caitlin Clark the entire length of the court behind the ball, and people are like, "Oh, she's not good."
Wait, did we
like,
officially block Final Boss?
Yeah.
Okay.
Big
Big
Final
update
Boss.
to the show.
Appreciate you. If I'll be honest, I didn't really check out what you were up to. So appreciate you, unless you
Just
were
spamming
harmful
the chat. No,
or being
it wasn't
mean
specifically not saying anything too much. He was spamming the chat, and at a certain point, that needs to be enough.
Yeah, don't disrupt the vibes of the chat.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we love the chat. We love the Discord, which apparently is loving pictures of Pete and Sean. Join the club. Been loving pictures of these guys forever. That sounds weird. What's Sean up to?
I
some
sat down in my
stuff?
chair very late today, so Sean is focusing the camera on me.
I will say, respectful I am in saying, today you sat down very.
There was a lot of discourse about whether or not we were late for today's show. I do believe that we were not late for today's show, but if we were, it was my fault. I will hand up. I will blame.
I don't think so.
We were
on
not
time. We were on time.
If we were late,
live, but we weren't.
If we were late, I am going to put my hand up and I'm going to blame the firefighter that stopped here before the show.
We had a firefighter drop in.
We had a firefighter randomly drop in, say hi to us, learn about the show, made us late.
Learned his middle name.
Also, as soon as he left, I was like,
AFAB?
Yeah.
all firefighters are boys.
Yes.
As soon as he left, I was like, we don't know that was a firefighter. We gave him a bunch of information, but could have just been. I feel like faking being a firefighter is easier to fake than being a cop. Actually, I don't know.
No, I disagree.
Well, no,
you just come and yell,
because
and people will be like,
there's like no inherent like, not to get like, there's no like inherent fear with a firefighter.
Yeah, so that's
like,
why it's easier to fake.
No, because I feel like you see a badge and you're just like, I'm gonna start behaving.
No, I think there's more of there's a threatening aura and kind of an unease about a cop just like lingering around a place and like kind of asking you questions. You're like, am I going to get in trouble? So I think you kind of are more observant. Whereas like a firefighter comes in, you're like, cool
Apparently,
guy.
I mean, Scotty Scheffler not that observant.
well,
New footage today. He did not realize that the police officer was a police officer, apparently.
Sean, do you know what there's friction often between police officers and firefighters?
Oh, of course.
I think that's so fascinating.
It's the funniest thing ever.
It's like dentists and doctors, I'm sure. Or wait, no. Does anybody like going to see any of those people?
No. I don't think so. I mean, no one wants to see a firefighter.
No, that's not true.
Ah.
My girlfriend loves to see firefighters.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I guess that, sure, people like seeing firefighters in that sense. But like, no one wants to see a firefighter doing their job.
There's like a non-zero chance that firefighter was casing the place.
Yeah.
He was doing a lot of like looking around and
Appraising.
yes.
All right. Well, we let the grab ass go a little long today, but I thought it was important, and this was a nice little chat. The Panthers have mercifully evened the Eastern Conference Final at 2 games apiece. Second straight game. You know this? Second straight game where they had better than a 2/3 expected goals share.
Yeah, I mean they've spent much of the last 2 games absolutely caving in the Rangers.
Imagine winning a game when you do that.
I know. It's very unlike what we've come to expect. We also did have sogless behavior from the New York Rangers last night.
Incredible. If you missed yesterday's show, Sarah and Pete brought up that there has just been a regular occurrence of like 10 minutes without a shot on goal for
12
teams.
minutes last night. 12 minutes without a shot attempt for the New York Rangers last night against the Panthers. I believe that was in the third period. Guess who fucking ended that drought? Do you remember?
Third period.
They went 12 minutes without a shot attempt.
It was
before
not Matt Rempe.
Matt Rempe
Fuck
put a
me.
shot on goal. That's unbelievable.
I don't remember
stuff.
anything that happens when Matt Rempe's on the ice, because now when Matt Rempe is on the ice, we all have to fucking text.
No.
So
we
I missed it.
We texted last night about I think I said Blake Wheeler's biggest case of adversity over like the last 2 years, in which like he's had a captaincy stripped from him. He's been bought out by a team. He's suffered a devastating injury, but the biggest case of adversity Blake Wheeler has faced, playing with Matt Rempe.
You know how Blake Wheeler and I bonded when he played for the Bruins?
You would constantly go offside for solidarity.
I hated that. Everybody was like, oh, Blake Wheeler's always outside. I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up. You stole the 5th overall pick. Okay? He's going to be a really good player.
He really
Just like,
he was always offside.
He was always offside. Who cares? Anyway, I found out he liked Steely Dan. So that was all I needed.
remember you telling
I
me
was
that,
like,
yeah.
I'm going to lie about whether this guy is doing a good or bad job. I'm going to cover, you know what I'm going to do? It's an old sports term. I'm going to go to bat for this guy a lot. I would write, actually, you guys don't understand that he's showing a lot of promise, and he understands that Katie lied is a fucking masterpiece. Good guy.
Yeah.
I was happy for him and very surprised when I saw him get a C. Never thought that he would be a captain. So I was like, oh, something's changed. And then eventually
Winnipeg regretted
was
that.
like, why do we make that guy our captain?
Yeah.
Shut up, Blake Wheeler.
I
He
can't
rocks.
believe-
Glad to see him back.
I can't believe that we haven't talked about the Matt Rempe Jiminy Crickets thing.
Yes, we have not talked about that. He was so surprised. Actually, we talked about it for a
We
second.
talked about it a little bit yesterday.
Oh, yeah, you missed
really?
it.
Okay.
We were talking about, who's the Coachella Valley assistant coach who might...
Jessica Campbell,
who might be either promoted to the NHL staff under Dan Bylsma, or maybe I was hoping would become head coach of Coachella Valley. But anyway, Sarah knows her a little bit. It was like, I think that she is the number one badass in hockey. And I cut her off. I said, I think Matt Rempe's the number one badass in hockey.
Because he says Jiminy
See
Crickets.
how tall he is? Says Jiminy Crickets. Don't see Jessica Campbell doing that.
You have to admit that like likability rating of Matt Rempe goes up a little bit when he says the words Jiminy Crickets.
Yeah, and I can't tell if he's serious or not. And then I'm like, God, I'm spending more fucking time on Matt Rempe.
I'm in on Matt Rempe.
I'm in on Matt Rempe, man.
I feel like he is self-aware.
Incredible novelty.
And he just like, I don't feel like he thinks he's anything more than he is. So
I agree.
It's hard for me to hate him that much.
I think it's important when people get carried away with someone that we not blame that person. It's not
like a bad
Matt Rempe's
contract.
fault. Yeah.
Unless that person is also like being like, it's a certain artist that's really popular.
You know what? We know what it's like, even in that market. Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito does everyone's making a big deal of me being Italian. Look, I know I'm just finding my way in this league, but hey, I'm going to sign chicken cutlets for everybody every day for like 3 months. Bad behavior.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Well,
because that's
I
a backup quarterback that's probably never going to play again. Get your money
He
while
understands
you can.
his window. There's self-awareness there, but I also think that you expedite like people turning on you when you go so hard in like trying to capitalize on it. Matt Rempe has been fairly quiet as far as like trying to capitalize on his own fame.
If I were to guess, having not met this person, not knowing this person, my read on Matt Rempe is he's a cute kid.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah, he goes to escape rooms, says Jiminy Crickets, smiles a lot.
Yeah, well, if we want to read a little more, he strikes me as a little dopey. So maybe that's why
he's
he
a
smiles
himbo.
so much. He's a himbo?
I'm all about Matt Rempe.
Okay.
I'm all about him. I'm on board. It took me way longer than a lot of other people, but I'm on board with Matt Rempe.
So again, I remember you right out the gate being like, yo, I don't think you thought he was like Milan Lucic or something, but you were like, yo, Rangers got a big guy and he's scoring goals. Fuck yeah.
Well, I was just like, it's kind of crazy. It's like he had the craziest opening weekend of anybody's career.
Yeah, I mean,
First game outdoor.
Yeah,
him
being
fights in
80
every
feet
game,
tall,
and then
first shift,
scored a
like,
game-winning goal in overtime,
Yeah.
like in his second or third game. So
Okay,
that's
well,
a Matt Rempe recap.
The Panthers were winning this game. I lost everything last night. Not DFSing wise, I was doing the other thing, and I lost it all because I was positive the Panthers were going to win yesterday. Not only win, but win in regulation, score the first goal. Dude, I was sprinkling everything on everything, and they didn't score the first goal. They had to come back, but they were up 2-1 in the third period. The Rangers end up tying it, force a third straight overtime in this series. And then in overtime, Mika Zibanejad, who I am positive we will discuss in today's episode, with the bat pass along the blue line, goes the other way, leads to a Sasha Barkov partial break. Blake Wheeler has to take him down. Really kind of iffy on whether that should have been a penalty shot.
Puck don't lie.
But a penalty is awarded, and the puck don't lie.
You can't use puck don't lie there because you don't know if he would have scored on the penalty shot.
Well, that's not really what puck don't lie means, though. Like it's more
like
about
karmic.
It's just like
I suppose
he would have had the chance. It should have been a penalty shot. Obviously, increases his chance.
Right.
Maybe not a perfect comparison,
sustained.
Yeah, but then who scored the game-winning goal? Was it
Sam Reinhart.
What's that?
Samson Reinhart.
Yeah.
So it was Samson Reinhart, who Sean did not know was named Samson. And
Despite always calling him Samson.
I didn't know he was named Samson until all this, but Ray Ferraro apparently called him Samson
so.
as well. I'm sure there's hockey of this that we'll discuss. If your name is Samson and you don't go by Samson, I got to question your behavior.
Although I will say, from Samson, I could see being a little bit of like a rich snobby boy name, and as somebody who grew up with rich parents, like Sam Reinhart did, move away from that image. Just
That's
be
Samson
Samson.
is-
You're a normal man.
Whatever your view and idea in your head of a gangster is, that person can be named Samson.
I disagree because I'm always gonna lean towards Samsonov, and I would just extend the name even further. Samsonov Reinhart.
See, I think of the drug lord in the movie Half Baked. His name is Samson. I think Samson is not to be fucked with. And I'll just say, if I were a team that were interested in Samson Reinhart and I were doing the Carl Crawford thing of stalking the player before you sign them, and I were to learn, hey, turns out his name's been Samson the whole time and he just goes by Sam, I'm bowing out. I'm not signing that player anymore. Have fun coming back to Florida. Enjoy not having to pay income tax. But finally, I think the right team won.
Yeah, I mean, Florida was really good last night. I hit the point last night where I think the scaries are setting in because both of these series are so fucking good, and we're so close to the end of the playoffs that I'm very glad Florida won last night, and we'll obviously talk about the Oilers later in the show. But even as a Dallas Stars man, I need the Oilers to win tonight because I need these series, both of them, to go the distance. I'm in love with both of these series, and I'm starting to get the scary setting in, being like, fuck, these are going to end soon.
Oh, yeah. We'll get into the breakdown of the Oilers and Stars Game 4. I have a pretty nice and sunny disposition, as I usually do, but I especially do today because I'm like, Oilers are going to fucking tie the series. This should happen. The Oilers, hopefully, are going to tie this series. I don't have the dread of today the Oilers season can end for all intents and purposes. If they go down 3-1, series is over. We've said all postseason, no one's beating the Stars 3 games in a row. Even if the Stars get to the Cup final, whoever plays them is not beating them 3 games in a row. Oilers have to win today, and I think they will. I think we're going to have 2-2 through 4 games in both series, and that rocks. For as long as the season has been, for as much burnout as we're probably feeling from having watched every fucking playoff game, I'm so happy with the hockey right now. So thank God Eastern Conference Final is 2-2. We'll see what happens tonight, but I'm liking the Panthers more and more. I
Yeah,
said
I
yesterday I
agree.
like all these teams more than I did at the beginning of the series, but
It feels so much like it could easily be way more in Florida's favor. And I know that we talked
better
about.
team.
I know that we talked about what was it, game 2? Was it game 2 or 3 that they fucking caved in the Rangers?
Game
and Rangers
3.
Game 3, and like if Igor wasn't playing out of his fucking mind, it seems more and more inexplicable that the Rangers are even in this series, right? Because I mean, we're gonna do get going watch, but there are so many guys on the Rangers in the Rangers lineup that through 4 games, you would be shocked that they'd be tied with the Florida Panthers with some of their top players not producing. Mika Zibanejad has been unfathomably awful, and I know
Very
that
off.
and I know that he's getting tough matchups. And I know a lot of Rangers fans I was talking to last night, and they were saying Zibanejad's kind of not looked great for a little while now. But I mean, when you look at his stats in this series, and yes, he's going up and getting the majority of minutes against the Barkov line and Ekblad and Forsling. But holy shit, Sean, do we have the full screen of the Rangers with Zibanejad on the ice? So shot attempts with Zibanejad on the ice at 5-on-5 through 4 games in this series, 111 to 42 in Florida's favor. Shots on goal, 45 to 13 in Florida's favor. They're outscoring the Rangers 2-0, and scoring chances are 47 to 17 in the Panthers' favor. Zibanejad 0 points in this series, and beyond that, just beyond stats on a page, if you've been watching the series, especially last night, Zibanejad constantly just coughing the puck up, just horrible. He looks like a mess out there. And then on the sequence before the break that led to the power play in overtime, the pass towards the top of the zone with 3 Panthers right there. Like, there's no chance that pass was getting through. Just get it deep, dump it in. Fucking get it down low. And I believe that the Rangers were, like, half the Rangers were in the middle of a line change as that was happening. You can't make that play.
The Rangers right now are the only team. Like, look at the top centers of every other team in the playoffs. Look what Hintz did when he returned last game. Look what McDavid's doing. He's leading the postseason in scoring. And look what Sasha Barkov's doing. He ends up drawing the penalty thanks to Mika Zibanejad, but he ends up drawing the penalty that leads to the game-winning goal, and he's been a darling this entire postseason. The only team that isn't getting unbelievable play from their top-line center is the Rangers right now, and he's been detrimental.
Yeah.
No goals in 9 games. Ugh.
So that's the thing. Mika has been actively bad, and a lot of other players on the Rangers, their top players, have been quiet / invisible. A lot of guys like Chris Kreider, 0 points in the series. Artemi Panarin has three assists, 2 of which secondary assists. He's been quiet, but he hasn't been actively bad. Panarin's been the 3rd best player on his own line, which is pretty surprising. But like Lafreniere and Trocheck have been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Kreider, very quiet, and again, next to Zibanejad, pretty tough matchups. But those guys got to get going, and they got to start producing, or else I think it's not gonna end well for the Rangers.
Sean, can you throw up the gotta get going watch? Because we ended up we're pretty firm now in the middle of this topic now. The gotta get going meter is in full effect. Mika Zibanejad, top of the list. Even though I will say, like, it's not for lack of trying. He's been visible. He's been visible in a bad way. Dumped a ton of shots on goal last night, at least. So he's trying, but God. Results not there at all. Kreider, I don't know. At least he fucking ripped somebody's mouthpiece out and threw it into the stands.
Did throw it into the stands.
Did or didn't?
Did not. It got confirmation that it did not make it to the stands, which I didn't know if you know this. If you throw a mouth guard into the stands, automatic ejection. I don't think they would have given it to him.
I was going to say, I feel like we can't live in a world in which you could just throw shit into the stands. Like, there's got to be some kind of... this is not like that serious of a situation, but there needs to, like... You can't just be like grabbing shit and throwing it.
Kyrie Irving did it when Devin Booker scored 50 points against the Celtics, I believe. He just took the ball, fucking threw it in the stands, and said, "You don't get to have that ball. Fuck you."
So let me ask you this: if he had thrown it into the stands, would you have encourage the officials to throw him out of the game and give him a match penalty because it is by the book.
I wouldn't have known the rule, so I can't say that I would have encouraged it. But if it had happened, I would have been like, them's the rules.
So hypothetically speaking, he throws it into the stands. Hypothetically speaking, they throw him out of the game. We're sitting here right now. Are we debating whether it was justified or good behavior?
You know what I'm doing? You heard me with the OHL pussy stuff last week.
You got to know the rule book?
My stance on everything.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised
if it's
by
in
the
writing.
Consequences of your actions. Like, it is just, you know how, like, if that's the rule, I think the conversation for me would be, we need to change that stupid fucking rule, but it is the rule, and that's just, thumbs the bricks.
Sometimes I hate how American Sean and I both are when it comes to that sort of thing.
I'm in huge favor of Chris Kreider doing that. And I love Matthew Tkachuk. I'm not a Matthew Tkachuk hater. I love that he ripped it out of his mouth and threw it, tried to throw it in the stands. It's extremely petty. It's great entertainment, great behavior, and I would not have wanted to see him punished.
The real question
especially
is,
in that game, like, you can't throw a guy out of a playoff game for doing that shit.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been. But also just don't. My thing is this is the Patrick Kane problem. Keep your mouth guard in your mouth. If you just wear your fucking mouth guard and don't chew on the end of it like you're Steph Curry or Patrick Kane, can't get ripped out of your mouth. He's not fish hooking you and pulling it out. He's only pulling it out because you have it out of your mouth already. It's like the chief complaint of like hockey parents. PD complains about it all the time. Just wear your mouth guard. Keep it in your mouth.
my question is, what if the Rangers had gotten Frank Vetrano at the trade deadline? It would have been just a fucking mess
Throwing shit into
of
the
people
stands.
throwing shit into the stands.
That was my first thought.
He would have hopped on the ice and thrown his stick.
But you can't get ejected. The game's over.
I don't know. I don't know what the rule book says about throwing your own equipment into the crowd.
I feel my thing about it is not like throwing somebody else's. Like, I'm not being soft about like, oh, don't take his stuff. Just like, generally speaking, not good behavior to throw shit into the stands when people aren't expecting it. Like, Frank probably shouldn't have thrown his stick into the stands. Dangerous move. It was cool in the moment, but like,
I tweeted last night that Tkachuk's mouth guard landed in a pile of nachos in the lower bowl, which I think that would be fucking hilarious.
I'm still eating those.
You're
nachos.
trying to protect people, but I want to see a mouth guard land in some fucking concessions.
It would have been funny, and like in this specific situation, like it would have been so ridiculous if he got thrown out of a playoff game.
Let me ask this: if someone throws a player's mouth guard into the stands, and later in the game your team gets a hat trick, are you throwing the mouth guard on the ice? Because I am 1,000,000%.
Oh yeah.
Just because they're
so
picking
funny.
up all the hats, I want the camera to have to zoom in and be like, "Oh,
that's
there's
my
the mouth
thing,
guard
is
again."
I feel like it's like a clear mouth guard, so the chances that it gets noticed are too slim for me to throw away having
Instead,
an
you
NHL
just
player's
end
mouth
up
guard.
injuring somebody because they don't pick up the mouth guard and somebody skates over it and they twist their knee.
You mentioned Kreider and him being quiet. He has 0 points, obviously, but he had a wonderful screen on the Trocheck goal on the power play last night. So like, at least he's helping.
Chris Kreider
doing some stuff.
Chris Kreider rocks. Over in the other series, Matt Duchene and Joe Pavelski, 0 points combined. And Duchene had a great scoring chance in game 2, I want to say. Game 2, maybe, that Stu Skinner stopped, but really hasn't been amazing. And a sneaky one for gotta get going. This sounds crazy. Leon Draisaitl, 0 points his last 2 games. Little quiet. McDavid caught him with 25 points. Humiliating.
I don't want to live in a world where Leon Draisaitl doesn't have like a 15-point lead in points on everybody else in the playoffs.
I assumed when we were getting ready for this, I was like, he doesn't have any points the last 2 games. He probably still is up like 5 points on everybody. And I was pretty distraught when I saw that McDavid had caught him. But McDavid was a fucking man possessed in the first period the other night. So hopefully,
and then what happened?
And that just a horrible.
We haven't had this conversation about the they need to have an asshole game, and then they went and had an asshole game. Like you had said that before game 3.
Yeah, true.
And then they were assholes.
Yeah, I did take my asshole victory lap after that game. I felt bad about it because this guy. I can't even like. I don't want the Oilers to be assholes. I really don't, because I've grown to be quite fond of the Oilers, their fans, that whole community. It seems like that team means a whole lot to the city of Edmonton.
Oh yeah.
And so I don't want them to be assholes, but I was right.
I just don't want them to be done. I also don't want to get sun in my eyes, and that's why I wear Shady Rays. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades that are built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. I went for a stroll this morning on the old blades and tossed on my Shady Rays. I forget the name of the type that I have, but they're polarized and they're brown and they look amazing on me. They are just fantastic. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor adventures. So many options to choose from, so you're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style. They probably have a style even in your favorite team's colors, so you might want to check them out. I wear them when I'm taking walks, when I'm eating donuts, when I'm rollerblading. Those are the main 3 things for which I wear Shady Rays. I also keep a pair in my car, so people look in the car, say, who's that guy? No way of knowing. Got
I
shades
keep a pair
on.
right here.
Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use code AC35 for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
You also want to protect your gut health as well as your eyes, which is why you want to get AG1, because AG1 is a product that I trust and I use on the daily. Every morning, you just go over to that green bin that sits on my kitchen counter. You unscrew the top, you take 1 scoop of that green powder, you plop it in the water, you shake it up in the unbelievably durable and sexy water bottle that they send as part of their care package. You shake it up, you drink it, you get a little bit more energy, you support your immune system, your brain health gives you a little bit more energy, and also your gut health. And it supports healthy aging. So AG1 is probably the easiest way to take care of yourself with 1 scoop of little powder on the daily. Highly recommend
There's
it.
something to be said for the mental aspect of it. Like, even if it was straight sugar, just drinking a green thing to start your day just makes me feel like I'm being an adult.
That's true.
It feels like a good habit.
The even just the visual aspect of it. If it's green and you shake it up,
It's just like I'm being healthy
it just
today.
feels like you're doing something good for
And
yourself.
then it actually is healthy, so then that's nice.
Yeah. So they're not pulling a fast one on you with the color green. It actually helps with minerals, vitamins, pre and probiotics. And again, it's so easy. I'm an idiot. I'm lazy. I know how to fucking pour 1 scoop of powder into water and shake it up and drink it. So if you want to join me on the AG1 train as the supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, join the AG1 train. Take ownership of your health. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/whatchaos. That's drinkag1.com/whatchaos. Check it out.
All right, we have some late breaking updates from Oilers morning skate. As the Stars and Oilers prepare for Game 4, it would seem that some big changes are coming to the Oilers lineup. First off, I would like to wish a happy birthday to Vinny Desharnais.
Yay.
It's his birthday today.
Congratulations.
Next, I would like to say, looks like Vinny Desharnais is not going to play today,
Oh,
which is a
no.
bit of a bummer.
Oh, no.
I don't know if that's amazing behavior. Like, Chris Knobloch doesn't yell. Maybe he does shit like this. He's like, hey, birthday boy.
That's way worse. Yell at me. Don't scratch me on my fucking birthday.
Hey, birthday boy. I hear they have cake in the press box.
God,
Brutal.
it's so mean.
Not nice. Claude Julien, when the Bruins were playing the Red Wings at Joe Louis Arena, Steve Kampfer from Michigan, his whole family was going to go to the game. Kampfer had been playing every game. Claude Julien scratched in that game. Healthy scratch.
Famously, that's Mike Babcock behavior.
Go sit with all your family's going to be there. Go watch with them.
Mike Babcock does that shit.
Not amazing. So Ryan Rishaug had from TSN had speculated that maybe Philip Broberg, the 2019, I believe, 8th overall pick by the Oilers, could be in the lineup. He says maybe they could go 11-7, or maybe CC or Desharnais could come out. Knobloch has made some bold decisions these playoffs. This would be another one. That was from 2 hours ago. And then 40 minutes ago, Fogle, Carrick, and Desharnais all putting in some extra work post-practice. Next, I'll skip the next one and get back to it. And then he says, Desharnais definitely gassed himself this morning, so looks like Broberg goes in for him. Broberg has been up and down between the AHL and the NHL, mainly at this point of his career as an AHL player who got a little cup of coffee at the end of the season, got 2 games late, but played 12 games in the NHL this season. Swedish guy, young, two-way skill, just not a very effective player right now, or isn't in the position where they could give him a long leash to develop and all that shit. I hate the idea of bringing him into a series against the Stars. I think they will fucking eat him up.
He hasn't played in over a month. He played 1 game in the Colorado series.
What about the AHL?
Well, I'm just saying he hasn't played an NHL
Stanley
Cup
I'm saying
playoff
they called him up for the end of the regular season. Let him play, I think, the last 2 games of the season.
He played in the Colorado series. Played 1 game.
See, no, it was at that was regular season. They didn't play Colorado this postseason.
Oh, true. Yeah. Okay.
I think it was the last game of the regular season. Rashog says Fogle also one of the last ones off the ice. Carrick too. Looks like significant changes coming. So Warren Fogle could be out. Sam Carrick. I've kind of liked Carrick, and I've liked that fourth line with Connor Brown, so I don't know what's going on, but it would seem Chris Knobloch doesn't yell, but God damn it if he doesn't shake.
I mean, I'm looking at Daily Faceoff right now, and their projected lines, they have Broberg paired with Nurse on the projected lines, which would be a wild experiment to just put a guy next to Darnell Nurse who has not played a playoff game.
Okay, well, on Nurse, from Ryan Rashog, stunning game day interview from Nurse. 2 and 3 word answers, then walked out thanking us before we were done. From our friend Gene Principe, when Sportsnet Spectre asked either Stuart Skinner or Connor McDavid to answer a question about Darnell Nurse, the Oilers captain said, "I'll take that." He said, "Darnell always gives his best. He's a big part of the team and will be great tonight." Before you speculated or Daily Faceoff speculated that he'll be paired with Philip Broberg, I was positive Darnell Nurse was going to have the game of his life tonight. Just because everybody who's been called out and has been told they need to get going this postseason has gotten going summarily.
That was going to be my thing about him being paired with Broberg. It's kind of like when they put Calvin Pickard in net, and they were like, well, we got to play real defense now. Maybe Nurse is just like, I have a lot more responsibility now.
You can't be a fucking asshole.
You have to be the adult.
And
like
maybe that's what he
needs.
needs.
To be the adult on the back end is a real risky proposition.
It
but
is.
Maybe that's the kind of gamble that they need to take. I just don't know if I do know. I don't like putting a 22-year-old Swedish defenseman who has not played a single playoff game.
I don't either. That's just my spin zone. That's like the way I can look at it being a positive move.
Are there any Oilers fans in the chat? I'd like thoughts on Desharnais coming out. I don't know if I like that. Give me at least, if you're struggling defensively and you got like a fucking tall guy at least on the back,
the big guy out
just
there.
fucking put the big guy out there.
Oh, so now you're like, you don't like when Matt Rempe's out there.
I might take Matt Rempe as like a 6th defenseman for the Oilers right now. I think I would take him over Kulak.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very interested to see. I do think the Oilers need a shakeup. I think that is quite clear. I don't know what I would do. The Broberg insertion, again, extreme gamble.
I don't know if they need a shakeup though.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
But they have hung with or outplayed the Stars through 3 games. Like we can't lose sight of that. And I was seeing it yesterday a bunch on Twitter, like, Oilers fans are being ridiculous. A lot of teams would do anything to be in the Western Conference Final and everything. And I get like not.
I just don't know if I agree with the statement that they've like outplayed the Stars.
I said they've hung with or outplayed.
I know.
There has not been stretches where the Stars, like outside of the second period, which was historic, the dominance that we expected to see, or at least there's a better team here that we expected to see, has not occurred yet.
I mean, like, I didn't expect a dominance. I think that's unfair. I didn't expect Dallas to dominate Edmonton. I think that Dallas has been the better team. And, like, yeah, you've seen pockets of the Oilers outplaying Dallas. But I think by and large, it has been even or in Dallas's favor.
No, I mean, I disagree. The stats would disagree. Eye test, I think, would disagree, but that's obviously in the eye of the beholder. I think that both of these series, through until yesterday had the team that was playing a little better trailing. So I
think you got some Oilers glasses.
I'm only going off information though.
No, I
if the
know.
numbers say the Oilers have been a little better,
I know what the numbers say, and I know that like the McDavid.
I could easily say that you're doing Stars glasses. It would make more sense that if somebody's going against the numbers and against the information, that they have a bias.
I have less of a bias, I think, here. Like I would be happy if the Oilers or Stars made it to the final.
Okay,
I really have no. I'm going to be happy either way with whoever makes it out of the West.
Well, I will say that. It's not such even if you think the Stars have been a little better than the Oilers, which is possible. Do the Oilers really need to shake things up and put in a young defenseman who hasn't been in the NHL this season much, who played 12 games in the NHL? Like, that doesn't seem like a good idea to me. I think that if you have the start that you had last game, which was awesome, and you dominated the first period, and just don't fall asleep in the second period, or if you do fall asleep in the second period, you call a timeout and you nip it in the bud. There's so many ways to avoid what happened and a repeat of what happened other than like putting lines in the blender and shaking everything up.
Yeah, I think that this is a real throwing a guy into the fire, which could end horribly, and I wouldn't do it against. I'd feel a little bit more comfortable if it wasn't against the Stars, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's a really, really tough and burning hot fire to throw a guy into.
Another part of it, and this is where you definitely lose the argument, is at some point the Stars are going to be better than the Oilers. Like at some point in the series, there is going to be the Stars are the better team here, because I think that we both feel that the Stars are the better team.
I think we got it last game.
At some point, they're going to play, like for a game, they will play better than the Oilers, and they will definitely win that game.
Did they not get it last game? Would you not count that as last game?
Yeah, no. Like second period and on, I think the Stars were better.
Right.
But on the whole of the series,
60 minutes?
No. Stars, I would say, should have won that game. But on the whole, everything tells you that the Oilers have been better than and again, not by much, but everything tells you that the Oilers have been, by a little, the better team in this series.
I think the stats are like a little skewed because of the McDavid effect.
Well, you got to consider 2 of the goals that the Stars have scored have been empty netters. So if anybody's enjoying skewed stats in all situations,
well, I mean,
it's the
helps
Stars.
when you fucking act like bozos and pull the goalie while Dallas has the puck.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, but that's all going against the argument that the stats are incorrectly in favor of the Oilers. If anybody's catching a break with the stats, it's the Stars.
I'm okay not pulling from the stats as far as this series goes.
Well, obviously, it's not helping your argument.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that sometimes the eye test is a little bit more favorable.
All I know is at some point we will see for real the Stars be better than the Oilers. Like clearly for a game, not just the Oilers are dead for this 20 minutes. The Stars woke up and they're running them over. There's going to be a time where both teams are really going for it, and we see that the Stars are the better team. And that is when the Oilers are going to regret not being up 2-1 or 3-1 right now.
Do you think we're also going to get a really bad Stuart Skinner game?
Yeah, maybe that's another thing that can happen.
Yeah.
Like there's through what has happened, I think that we'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge that this is when things should be advantageous for the Oilers, and they still aren't up in the series when the numbers and the eye test suggest that they should be.
It's also that you can. I made this point yesterday. Like, the momentum is in Dallas's favor because of Hintz, and so if you take the stats, you can say Dallas hasn't been at full strength.
Yeah. Well,
I do think that Hintz, if playing well and being effective, really does change Dallas's lineup quite a bit.
Yeah, well, but it changed as soon as he got in.
Right.
Like he didn't need to acclimate at all. He just jumped in and made Jason Robertson a fucking god.
Right.
Which we were waiting for anyway.
That's why I'm a little bit concerned for the Oilers. Beyond the obvious is just that Dallas has a little extra to them. And the fact that Robertson got hot and Hintz looks good immediately, man. Like I'm kind of waiting for the bad Stuart Skinner game.
Yeah, I'm more waiting for both teams do their best, and Dallas is better because Dallas has a better, deeper roster, and that's coming at some point. Okay, we have the Stanley Pups. They have been revealed. Do we know this?
Oh yeah,
Sean, you got any of them? Okay, give us the 3 I sent you first.
Oh,
if you have it, that's okay if you don't.
I do. I forgot to pull it in.
Okay, well, the Stanley Cups, which is the Stanley Pup, which is the Petco Love and NHL Rescue Dog competition, I believe is what it would be called. There's representatives from all 32 teams, but the actual competition is going to be from the 16 teams that have made the playoffs. So, like the Sharks don't get a dog revealed right now, which I don't
sad.
know.
That makes more sense. I wasn't sure. I was looking for the Sabres dog, and I was like,
Oh, no.
where's
Yeah.
that one? But yeah.
Sharks don't get a dog reveal, although
Sharks got a dog reveal.
They
Will
revealed a
Smith.
dog yesterday.
Yeah, that's right.
Will Smith. But yeah, there you've got they put out cards and they had scouting reports on them and everything. Threw a few of them up there. You got Alex Ovechkin, Anders Leash. That's my favorite name.
Anders Leash.
Yeah. And Andrzej Kopitar is probably my favorite dog picture. If you're on YouTube, and if you're not, please subscribe to A Chaos on YouTube. I love that picture of Andrzej Kopitar. I posted it twice on my personal Instagram.
Yeah, that dog looks happy as hell. I don't know if I like Anders Leash as much as you do. I might like Andrzej Kopitar way better.
Somebody in the chat, or somebody somewhere, I can't keep track of our people, asked if they stole any of these names from us, because we did this at some point.
Our chat's too creative for this. Our chat's come up with a million better names than what's been on these.
So like if somebody in our chat came up with Anders Leash, I would have been like,
yeah,
Leash is amazing.
I'm a little disappointed that our whatnuts weren't like consulted.
I agreed.
But maybe next year. I'm just glad that the Stanley Pup exists. It's essentially the Puppy Bowl, but for the Stanley Cup. I'm very excited. I'm glad that we got the reveals. Dogs
Sean,
are very cute.
Give us the list. Give us the full list. So you have Alex Ovechkin, Roman Yorkie.
I love that one.
Which you like that one?
I don't like that one.
I hate that one. Austin Matthews, Anders Leash, A+. Connor Yellerpuck, not great.
You know what happens to old Yeller?
Yeah.
You know what happened to Connor Hellebuck?
Dies
little
first
too on the nose.
They didn't need to do 2 puns there. Like, just make it hella puck. Why they have to make the name
Well, because
or make it Yellerbuck?
because there would if they did. Yeah,
They didn't need to
Yellerbuck?
do Yeller and puck.
yeah.
Chat saying that they joked about starting class action because they stole jobs from the whatnots. That's actually
true.
very fair. Nathan McKibble, I think you can find it on the Petco Love website. Cute dog, not a great name. Connor McDoodle.
Nathan McKinnon's nickname is Nate Dog.
Yeah, you could have just gone Nate Dog. Andrzej Kopitar, great name. Brady Sharpe, very bad.
Bad.
Nikita Kucherov, good, classic.
That one was definitely in the Whatnut chat.
Yep. David
sure.
Pastrnak.
Chat's not happy about that one because David Pastrnak was right there.
Oh, yeah.
Way better than
yeah.
But there's only so many paws they can do,
That's
and
true.
you'll find out soon that there's one for the Stars. The Rangers is what's interesting because I clicked on the name and it said Mika Zibanejad, and when I clicked on it, it pulled up a card of Adam Foxhound, and I was like, was this whoever coded this website being like, fuck, there's a better name? Or did they go back and forth? Or is it a different dog? All these other dogs have different aliases.
My theory
They're
is
regular names.
My theory is they've seen how Mika's been playing, and they said we can't assign this to the dog. We got to pivot. Let's go Adam Fox.
They stripped the dog name.
I do wonder if there's different dogs here because you're not calling a dog that's not a foxhound a foxhound, and you're not calling a dog that doesn't have like a brindle pattern.
Respectfully, these are rescue dogs. They'll tell whatever fucking lie they can.
Well, but like Roman Yorkie is a Yorkie.
They are trying to get rid of these things.
But like at least like Roman Yorkie is an actual Yorkie.
Yeah.
the messaging behind like a rescue trying to get rid of the dogs.
We've got all these dogs. We rescued
gotta
all these
get rid
dogs.
of them.
We rescued way too many dogs. Sergei Bobrovsky.
I like that one.
Lindy Ruff.
What's that?
Lindy Ruff.
Yeah, Lindy Ruff would be good if the Sabres made the playoffs. Quinn Shoes is pictured.
Nice. Solid one.
Very nice there. Joe Pavelski, who, if you look at Joe Pavelski's player card, and I think he's on the other one, just looks like the best hang of all the dogs. Joe Pavelski looks like a really good boy. And then Mark Bone. That dog.
A little too close to Ken Bone.
Oh.
Shout out.
Little sweater and porn, right? Is that?
Yeah, he loved the Reddit porn.
Was it bad stuff? Like, was he up to no good?
I think it was like it's fetishy stuff, and we don't kink shame here. I think it's fine that Ken Bone looks at porn, whatever.
One time I had somebody on Twitter who was like really hating on me, and this was like really back in the day, and I searched their username. I just Googled their username, and they shared, they use the same username for everything, and I found a bunch of like stuff of them on message boards just being like a huge horn dog.
Nice.
And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this information, but it makes me feel better that this person who's
unless it's like problematic horn dog stuff.
Yeah.
Don't drag people's interests.
Yeah, but this person was like doing like for real blockable stuff on Twitter, like towards me. So I was like, if I want, like, I didn't do it, but I thought about, and this was back in the day, I'm a younger man.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, one tweet, I could just embarrass this person so much. Not like publicly, but just be like, yo, I Googled your name, your handle. You got to clean it up, man.
It is fair that like if you're doing that kind of stuff, don't keep the same username across the internet.
Well, that's what I'm going to say. I'm
Across the
guessing
internet.
they probably don't care. If they're using the same username for everything, you're probably not going to get them by putting it
that's
out.
fair.
But they were an
Maybe.
egg. Does that help or hurt your argument?
It would help
It
my
helps
argument.
it
They're an egg.
because-
They're anonymous anyways. It's not like their employer's going to find out.
Yeah, I
Nino Neuterider.
What's that?
Nino Neuterider is pretty
Oh,
good.
that's so like the chat is so much fucking better.
That's what I'm saying.
Again, Devils could have Doggy Hamilton. Mainly, that's the most important to me. But there's so many other good ones. Barkstone is so much better than Mark Bone.
Yeah, 100%.
Barkstone.
They were only doing last names, weren't they? They didn't do any first name puns, did they? Yeah, they're all the last
Good
name.
point. That's a good point.
That's a missed opportunity.
First names don't show up on jerseys.
Ah, true. Trying to sell merch. Are they selling merch for the Stanley
Dude,
Pup?
Oh my God. Mark Bone jersey, like just walking
Just
around in the Vegas
Bone?
night. Bone.
I would buy a Kopitarf
Yes.
jersey. for sure.
Kopitar. Can you just throw up the Kopitarf again, Sean? What a dog.
So is that helmet photoshopped? I'm too far away. Is it
No, this
photoshopped
guy
or
looks
is
like
it
he's
like
got a
attached?
strap around his.
It looks like it's attached. And I was
Yeah.
going to say more than the Puppy Bowl, I would like to, or I'm sorry, the Stanley Pup, apologies. I would like to just watch the preparation for the Stanley Pup where the jerseys are being affixed to the dogs. Because while it's not good behavior, it's just adorable to watch a dog have like a hat or like a shirt put on them that they don't fucking want to wear because they don't want to wear any of that shit because they're not supposed to, and we're not supposed to do that to dogs.
Here's a good one.
I think largely it's harmless, but don't fucking dress up a dog every day. Once a year if you want to put on a fucking Santa costume or
Maybe some dogs do like it. Some dogs like the warmth.
Yeah, I mean, a sweater is a little different than like a costume.
you know what I like on a dog? And you got to do it on the small dogs in the heat. You know the like packs that you put on them and you just like you hose them down, you spray water on them, keep them cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know this, Sean?
No.
You don't know nothing about it.
Wet
You got
vest.
a dog, you got a cat that's just fucking eating wires.
Wet vest.
Is that what they're called?
No.
Mm-hmm.
That is what it is, though, I guess.
Yeah.
Someone pointed out that Mark Bone just got put on LTI ARF.
Ah,
The reason why I want a Kopitarf jersey so bad is that it, like if you're wearing it out of context and anybody
It just
sees
looks
it
like
and doesn't
Fanatics
know
thing.
about the Stanley Pup, they're just like, that came from Fanatics.
yes. we honestly switch over to Fanatics. We should absolutely customize Thanks Fanatics jerseys. Fanatics would send us a cease and desist.
Yeah.
Just be like, God damn it.
Do you think that, like, because I know that they have, like, I was going to say, I know they have quality control. We know that they really don't. But when you do customize jerseys online, there are certain things that trigger, like, you can't do this. You can't put this on the back of a jersey.
Yeah.
I think that every 69 jersey gets flagged for review.
Wow.
But I wonder if there is a trigger for something being very close to an actual player name.
Oh, yeah, where they might be like, hey, are you sure?
Right.
But then we should be able to say,
yes.
Oh, yeah, we're sure.
Oh, yeah, we're sure.
Tell me what I got to sign. Tell me where I need to initial.
I know that you can't customize like official jerseys of other players.
Yes, like active players on other teams.
Derek Jeter Red Sox jersey that never was.
Damn.
I always wanted one growing up.
Which, like, what if your last name was Jeter and you were a Red Sox fan and you were trying to customize a jersey for yourself? Could you just do it without number 2?
Yeah. I don't know. But also, if your last name's Jeter, you just can't do that. Like, you just can't be showing up in a Red Sox jersey. Like, as a grown adult now, I realize that would have been terrible behavior to have a Derek Jeter Red Sox jersey.
2 weeks, Sean's going to walk in with a Dry Saddle Sharks jersey, and I'm going to hate it.
The most German team in hockey.
And be like, the jersey is heat. Don't wear it again. Let's do a slate grade. At 8:30 p.m. U.S., we have Game 4 of the Western Conference Final when the Dallas Stars visit the Edmonton Oilers. I like they've been doing ESPN's got the Eastern Conference, TNT's got the Western Conference, as I care more about the Western Conference.
And you care more about
TNT?
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, as I care more about the Western Conference, I like the way that this has fallen.
I'll say ESPN.
Bad night last night.
Stonks down again. And like you don't hear any joy in my voice. I don't like making fun of ESPN anymore. We have friends over there.
Yeah.
I think we all
Butcher Gross
want to watch a good
us.
product. Yeah, he does. And we all want to watch a good product. We all want to watch a good broadcast. They got to figure it out. And especially they have the Stanley Cup. They have the Stanley Cup final.
There was a little bit of there was some, like, we disagreed just now on the Stars and the Oilers thing, and I was doing this is why you're saying that or whatever. Still respectable. It was still respectful. I got some with Levy and Subban last night. Levy being like, is someone going to get me some fucking line mates here? When they came in, and because late in the second period, the Panthers scored. And they were planning on talking about at the intermission how great Shesterkin had been. And clearly Subban was like, I prepared to say these things. This is what I'm saying. And Levy was like, oh, well, of course, he also just allowed that goal. So, like, what do you think of that goal? And Subban was like, I don't care about that goal. Let's not talk about that. And he was like, well, it's just that it's the Eastern Conference Final and the game is tied now or whatever. Like, his team is losing, blah, blah, blah.
They're still doing that same fucking song thing that they did 4 games ago, too. Remember the Messier and Subban song that they were singing?
Not She Loves You.
Oh,
they were doing that.
They were doing another fucking song.
But they were doing another. Yeah, I forget what song they were doing, but Subban was like, I'm not singing. And I was like,
and he started singing. It's like, fucking Jesus Christ.
It's not great behavior. Meanwhile, K9 Dre Miller is amazing. Super chat, by the way. Breaking super chat during a slate grade. We love to see. Just want to get ahead of it. My dog is named Dylan Barkin, and if they try to use his name, that's stolen valor. John Evans.
Just want to get ahead of something that like has not even been close to approached is so good.
Well, I mean, we don't know the name of the Red Wings dog. If they end up making it Dylan Barkin.
And Dylan Barkin is by far the best option of Red Wings names.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless, let's see.
Patrick K9?
Yeah.
Patrick, yeah, but he's a free agent. They can't do it with him, can they?
He's not a free agent until July 1st.
That'd be terrible behavior.
Fair. They could trade his rights.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Lucas Raymond. I'm giving this game an A. Because it's the most important game of the NHL season to this point.
Must win for the Edmonton Oilers?
Must win for the Edmonton Oilers.
You will stamp that with must win?
Big must win.
Okay.
No one's beaten it's famously said, no one has beaten the Stars 3 games in a row. They are just not doing it. So they must win. And I don't love I'm nervous about making big changes when your team is hanging well in a series.
Just to get back to the dog thing real quick, is Dylan Larkin better than Alex to bring dog?
Oh, man.
Because just taking cat and making a dog is awesome.
That's funny behavior.
Right?
Yeah,
That's a home run.
Very funny.
Shit. Sean, if I just send you a tweet, can you play it? It's a video tweet.
Depends on the video.
Yeah, right.
It is. Oh, it's not. It's not. It's just an interview. It's Darnell Nurse.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
While we wait, how do you feel about Will Smith to the Sharks? Like in terms of, does he make them immediately watchable? Like,
they were already going to be
gauge?
watchable. They were. I mean, I found Bedard is a million times better, but like I watched a million Blackhawks games this year just because I wanted to watch Connor Bedard. I definitely want to watch the Sharks for Celebrini and Will Smith.
Yeah,
that rules.
I also
want. Do you want them to play together?
I don't know. I mean, like, I'd like to see it at some point, but I don't really have strong feelings one way or another. I am very excited that this means that Ryan Leonard hasn't signed, right?
No.
Like, I think that
He
we're
posted end of an era on social media, but
was that like
that
a
can be
Will Smith
interpreted
thing?
as no longer playing together.
Yeah. There does seem to be a belief that there's going to be a mass exodus from BC, right?
Oh, yeah.
That was floated out there, and I would love to see Ryan Leonard sign with the Capitals. Of any of those guys, I mean, I guess Will Smith.
No, Will
is
Smith,
up
I think,
there.
is the most intriguing.
You think so?
Yeah.
But like NHL ready, do you think? I think Ryan Leonard might be the most NHL ready.
I mean, we wanted him to drop in for the playoffs this year. That would have absolutely rocked.
I think for like his style of play, his frame, kind of power forwardy, I think Ryan Leonard might be the most NHL ready of those BC guys.
May I quickly ask, Sean, I know that you were preparing that TSN video of Darnell Nurse that we're about to watch, but why is the chat talking about Mike Felger?
I believe.
Are they theorizing that he's Mike Felger or Final Boss?
So I don't know if you've paid attention to what's been going on in the chat. One of my favorite moves of all time. Final Boss finally got the boot, banned him because he's been coming in here, spam him in the chat with cry, tears, surfing on tears. Banned him. Within a few minutes,
Burner account.
Immortal Boss showed up. Also a profile picture of Beetlejuice, but has been the nicest person in the chat. Has been like, I love hockey, great series. What team are you rooting for? Oh, they have such a bright future.
Unbelievable behavior.
Unbelievable move. And
assuming
I
it's the same person.
It is 100%.
Okay.
It's
That's
the same
terrific.
name and the same random like internet person as
That's
a profile picture.
amazing.
That's terrific.
Just
Awesome.
as like an alter ego.
Awesome. And his comment has been so nice. It is amazing.
So I do think that Final Boss enjoys being here, has been here like every day for a while.
That's what they said. They subscribe. They enjoy the show.
Surfing on love right now. I love that.
But Immortal Boss
was portraying a role.
Immortal
on
Boss
Tears of
has
Joy.
not claimed to be Final Boss, has no idea what we're talking about when we reference Final Boss.
That's so good.
This is
been an
big
amazing move.
Seinfeld 2000 behavior.
Amazing move.
Love it.
Okay, we have not seen this video, obviously. I just saw that it was posted and that people are talking about it. It's from TSN, and they say Darnell Nurse wasn't feeling very talkative during his media availability that lasted less than a minute, and it's got one of these.
Oh, the grimacing emoji.
I don't know. I never know how to search for it. It's not... Do you write grimacing?
I mean, I don't search for emojis.
I search for emojis a lot.
I mean, I do when it's like a specific thing, not like a face. You know,
I do
like if
like-
I'm searching for like fire hydrant. I don't even know if there's a fire hydrant emoji, but I would find out by typing in fire hydrant to the search bar. But yeah, let's watch that. I'm very interested.
It is grimacing. If you
Grimacing.
like hover over it and
Good
it
job,
gives you the
Pete.
name, it says
Thank you.
grimacing face.
All right, let's see.
Let's
this
grimace.
is Darnell.
What have you sort of seen from him and the time that he's been here, the work he's been putting in, being patient?
Yeah, really good player. He's ready.
Do you have confidence that he can, come?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Really good player.
What is it about his game, Darnell, that you think makes him ready?
Can skate, physical, can make plays.
Connor was talking about you don't necessarily want you back against the wall, but how the team has kind of responded to elimination games. Last series down 2-1 to Vancouver. What would you say about the team doing that when it is a difficult stretch?
We're good with our back against the wall.
Obviously, any team can play well at this time of year. When Dallas has a push like they did in the second period, what are just some of the keys to stopping it? A little sooner than the other game.
Playing hard. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Yeah, a little bit of a smirk going on.
Do you think that seems like it's he's trying to force something? He's trying to force
I don't
he's
know
locked in.
Yeah, I was gonna say locked in question mark, but I don't. He's for sure trying to get something across. Maybe it's because I'm stupid.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know. I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
That's not my read on it. Was he spent the last 48 hours getting bullied relentlessly online,
Listening to these motherfuckers,
and he is on the brink. He's over it all.
But he's not even being asked about himself. He's being asked about somebody else.
But my point, I think he's at a stage where he's just I don't want to be here right now. The last 48 hours,
who else doesn't want him to be there right now? The Edmonton Oilers.
Well,
they don't want him there.
Backs are against the wall. What if he, be fucking cool? Darnell Nurse just flipped the script on him, just fucking yelled.
Not cool. Terrible behavior.
You wouldn't want him to yell?
No, the way people would react to that would not be good. I would not enjoy that at all.
He sucks and he yells. Sucks, blows, and yells.
Can't be composed. That would be the narrative around it.
He's losing it.
Can't be the whole angry black guy narrative. I have no interest in that.
More likely to have a bounce back game, Mika Zibanejad or Darnell Nurse.
Darnell Nurse, as Mika Zibanejad, does not have a game tonight.
Well, yeah, I mean their next game, respective next games.
A calendar watch, Sean McDonough. Did you hear him yesterday? He kept saying yesterday.
No.
He was like
referring to the last game.
Yeah, and he kept saying yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, is he?" He was like, "Oh," and that happened last night, and I was like, "That happened in the Dallas game," and he was like, "That happened last night when Barkov did that," and I was like, "What?" And then he was like, "The Rangers and Panthers played last night." He didn't say that, but he kept saying things that suggested he thought
everything blends together this time of year. I'm not going to hold it against him, but in terms of just need to get going, watch. We had the meter. What was it? The need to get going meter.
It'll be easier to tell if Zibanejad gets going. I think just because he's been not producing offensively, and the way that Darnell Nurse could quote unquote get going is simply if the Dallas Stars do not score goals when he's on the ice.
Say.
It's possible that he could not get going.
He could do nothing.
But that is
catch a break.
That is getting going.
Getting going
so
is
do you think it's easier for him to get going
unnoticeable
than it is for Zibanejad to get going?
1,000%, because all he has to do is just not lose his minutes.
Yeah.
And Zibanejad, you're also talking about a guy going up against quite possibly the best forward in the league defensively, and quite possibly the best defensive defenseman in the league in Gus Forsling. Zibanejad's minutes have been fucking so hard.
Can we get some Stu bails out Darnell talk tomorrow, you think?
I'm thinking more likely we're talking about they really needed a better game from Stu. Again, I said earlier in the show, I'm on pins and needles waiting for the bad Stu Skinner game.
I'm Darnell Nelson's point is getting a point tonight.
So
I don't care. I don't care about how many points Darnell Nurse has. He can't give up goals. He's got to play. We've seen the Oilers play very good defensive games as a team. They need one of those fucking games. They need to play.
I mean,
I would still feel not great about the Oilers if they won a 5-4 game tonight.
Didn't they kind of have one in game 2?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I need one of those games. I need them to play adult hockey.
Okay. I'd say Nurse needs a partner that can play, says Joel. Look at how much better Bush has played. Yes, and I brought up yesterday, Ekholm is not going to be around forever. They need more of those guys, and they need Nurse to be one of those guys. Nurse isn't supposed to be the guy that needs a good partner. Nurse is supposed to be the guy that carries.
He's supposed to be the good partner.
What's that?
Supposed to be the good partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I mean, we talked about that yesterday. It's you don't need you shouldn't need somebody to protect your 9 $0.25 million defenseman.
Which is why, like, they say he needs a good partner. Here's Broberg instead. So,
Another question that's
we
kind
don't
of
know about
interesting.
Broberg could be a good partner.
well, or like I said, it could force him to step up his game a little bit, which, if that's what it takes, is not great. But
I think I know the answer to this. Somebody asks, Pete, why are you so down on Stu? I'll add to that. Why are you so down on Stu when you predicted Stuart Skinner was going to be better than everybody thought? And now he's been better than everybody thought. He's having a good series, and you're almost discussing him with dread.
I am. I am.
You should take your victory. If anything, I'm not telling you how to behave. There's an opportunity to take a victory lap while it can still be taken.
Both things can be true, though. Like you can expect Stu to be better overall than a lot of people expect him to be, but I don't think you're gonna get especially if this series goes 7 games. I don't think you're gonna get 7 games of good Stu. You know, I don't.
I agree.
I don't feel confident in him being able to play well for 7 straight games. At some point, you're going to get a bad Stu Skinner game. It's just whether or not you can overcome it.
Yeah. The love of your life sends in a super chat. Thanks, pal. Put me on with Nurse. I will fix him 100%. Put that shit on. You see that? Does anybody know what this means? I love that Sean does.
yeah, Antonio Brown, put that shit on.
Do you know that Antonio Brown, like, inexplicably has a good song?
Yeah, I did know that. Yeah.
Put that shit on. He has got some terrible songs.
I'm not calling that a good song.
No, I love that song. But he's also got, I got a whole lot of money. Got a whole lot of money.
He is the definition of bad behavior on Twitter.
Yeah.
He's
awful.
just
But he volume
misbehaving
shoots,
at
so every once in a
all
while
times.
he does have a bang.
Yeah, most of them are just awful.
You see, he linked with Baby Gronk. Terrible. Worst behavior
I
across.
didn't know Baby Gronk was still around.
Or no, I think Baby Gronk posted, like, he was in front of a couple of women who were lying down on the beach, and it was like something, I'm paraphrasing mercifully, being like, hey, am I the white person of the year at AB84?
He does his cracker of the day.
Yes. Like, am I the cracker of the day?
Yes.
And the only responses I saw to it was like, why is Baby Gronk's dad free to roam the streets?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That man needs to be
fair.
put in prison.
Matthew Tkachuk today, in his presser, said he was able to get his mouth guard back after Kreider tried to toss it. And he said, I told him it was the best play he made all game.
Good behavior. A question I
Not
meant to
bad.
ask,
Not bad.
how much are you paying for that mouth guard? Because we know
$0
that one Seth Jones glove is $280. We know that one Nick Ritchie nameplate is either $10 or $20. Can't remember. How much is a Eastern Conference Final game chewed Matthew Tkachuk?
Want to get into some grown man talk?
Mm-hmm.
I'm paying $0 ever for anything that's been in another grown man's mouth.
I think I agree with you generally. It would have been different, like, had that in that specific instance, the mouth guard and made it into the crowd. I think that specific mouth guard is worth, because it's like more about the moment as opposed to it being the mouth guard.
I'll take it. I'm not paying money for it.
I think there's value in it. I would
take it to maybe sell it.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd flip it. You'd flip the
Yeah.
mouth guard.
I'm not paying money.
I don't have any interest in like
gross.
the Seth Jones glove. If that whole thing had like Kirill Marchenko mouth guard, I would have been like, why are they selling this? Yeah. I don't know who wants this.
But you're in on the Seth Jones glove, right?
Yeah, like a piece of like actual equipment that is not hidden in someone's mouth most of the time. Yeah, I'm like,
what if
not
Seth
trying
Jones
to buy
bites his
someone's
fingernails?
You know, it'd be
have to do
fucking
that
The glove's
with
been in
their
his mouth.
You know, it'd be so funny, and I would lose my mind if Kreider grabbed the mouth guard and just stuck it in his own mouth. It was mine now.
Would have been awesome.
I mean,
crazy behavior.
2011
But
Stanley
we'd be
Cup
like,
final.
What?
2011 Stanley Cup final, players were shoving their hands in each other's mouths and be like, oh, you gonna bite? Oh, are you gonna bite me? Get your fingers on my mouth. No, I'm gonna put my fingers in your mouth. And then just like every other game of Brad Marchand's career,
Licked.
it's been like licking, kissing.
My thing about
That would
Kreider-
be just like I feel like that would throw Tkachuk off of his game so bad if Kreider just took his mouth guard and put it in his own mouth.
Oh yeah, well,
Although Tkachuk hasn't done that much in this series anyway.
he like my thing about Kreider is like you can't just throw it where he can get it back. You don't accomplish anything there. Like, it's funny you took it, you threw it, but like you got to take that shit to the bench. Give it to your take it. Like,
I mean, he's got a
like,
backup mouth guard, right?
I know, but it's way more like if he just walks over and picks it up off the ice, rinses it off, whatever. If he has to go back to the bench, get his trainer, go get another mouth guard, that's way more.
Well, I think he tried to throw it over the glass, and if you fail throwing it over the glass, you can't go grab it.
Yeah. Oh, well, that I agree with.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He should have just taken it and just.
I really wish that he just stuck it in his own mouth. That's
funny. By far that would have been the craziest move ever.
That's something I feel like Vinny Trocheck would do. I tweeted last night, Vinny Trocheck's energy is so psychotic and unhinged that I didn't really know. I was unfamiliar with that side of his game. This playoffs has been real eye-opening for Vinny Trocheck. He got cross-checked in the back last night, and I think it was by Mikkola, and as he was getting cross-checked in the back, was up looking at Mikkola, laughing in his face, being like, that's all you got? That shit makes me laugh so hard. And that's the kind of psychotic energy I want in the playoffs. So if Kreider took the mouth guard and shoved it in his own mouth, I would have died.
I feel like it's a little bit of a coming out party for a few Rangers on a national level. Because I feel like people, weren't talking about Kreider this much, weren't talking about Trocheck this much. I guess Rempe they were always talking about.
Lafreniere.
Yeah.
Lafreniere, as far as a good,
huge,
another great game last night. Rang the crossbar.
A bunch of tough goals scored last night.
Yeah.
Like just good. The one that was batted out of the air, Lafreniere's goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have some projected Oilers lines from Jason Greger, and I wish that I had buttons of Steve Dangle screaming that I could press. These are his projections based on who was out there, not necessarily skating together, but who was out there and who stayed out late today. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, McDavid, Hyman. That's normal. Holloway, Draisaitl, Kane. That's normal. Henrique, McLeod back in. Brown. Janmark, Ryan, Perry. Interesting. Bottom six. Bottom six has not been a problem for them, but we'll see. Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Ceci, Kulak, Broberg. Really don't like that.
Well, you said Nurse Ceci?
Nurse Ceci.
Cannot happen.
You can't run it back.
Ever again.
You can't run it back.
That is Canada's 9/11. Never again.
I knew as soon as you said it, I was like, that's where I was going, I think.
My God. Yeah, you can't run it back. You can't run Nurse Ceci back. I know as much as we poo-pooed the idea of Nurse Broberg, give me that every fucking time. At least there's hope that maybe it can go well. I don't think there's any hope that Nurse Ceci goes well.
There's just so much evidence.
You have so much evidence.
You've got just, I'm thinking of a lawyer studying a case being like, oh, sorry, I can't go out tonight. I got all this fucking casework on. And all it is Darnell Nurse and Cody Ceci allowing goals or scoring goals on their own.
You're just buried in tape of that not working.
I hate this phrase, but it is the classic, the definition of insanity.
Yeah.
It's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Not the definition of insanity, but it is you can't just keep doing it.
I can't believe that you said
horrible.
That,
so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
One person that we did not even mention for got to get going. Watch Evander Kane, 0 points in this series as well.
Yeah, that's because Draisaitl hasn't been going.
That's fair.
He's tanking him. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow when it's 2-2. Mercifully, hopefully. Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.